To understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What do you desire that you can't have?
Now you should at least give a brother a moment to say something heroically clever.
You have failed this city.
So I have this thing with rolls.
Just the end of the world.
There's about a dozen ways that I could stop you right now. But I don't think I have to.
You're the boy from the circus.
I started up a security firm.
Finally, a superhero team I can actually get behind.
In the future, my friends may not be heroes, but if we succeed, they will be remembered as legends.
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending Saturday, February 29th, 2020. I'm Little Eddie O'Hare, aspiring professional fanboy.
And I'm Sarah Netzley, academic by day, writer by night.
We're here to bring you recaps, news, and commentary for all live-action television shows based on DC Comics.
And we have 5 new episodes this week.
Yes, Sarah, 5 episodes. We got a full boat.
Yeah, it's been a while since they were all on at the same time, and then next week, they're not all on at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. Next week, we only have Black Lightning, because Batwoman and Supergirl are taking off for some reason, and it looks like Flash and Legends decided to push because of Super Tuesday. So,
that makes sense. We will all be glued to our screens. Ed,
yes.
Forgive me. Is your jurisdiction part of Super Tuesday?
No, it is not. It used to be way back in the day, but now New York has pushed their primaries to late April.
Oh. How does it feel to have no say whatsoever?
You know what? I'm not going to comment on politics. I'm not going to comment on politics because I swear this is one of Bill Sweeney's rules that I really do abide. I love talking about sports, and I think math is important for everybody, but politics, no, makes me queasy. So I'm not gonna go any further with this discussion if that's okay with you.
That's fine. I was just curious if New York was a Super Tuesday state. That's all. That's it.
No.
Illinois is. That's all.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good luck.
Well, thank you. We usually don't have much choice by now, so it's just an interesting 2020 is an interesting year. Do you want to talk about DC TV now?
Yeah. Let's do that. Well, one thing I think we can mention this up front. So thank you everyone for listening. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, if you have, I'm sorry. Wow, I got all tripped up. So thank you for listening. If you're enjoying what you're listening to, please rate and review us on whatever podcast app you're using. It helps people find us, especially if you have Apple Podcasts. If you really, really like us, we are part of Wicked Theory Studios, which has a Patreon, patreon.com/Wicked Theory. For just as little as $1 a month, you can just help us with our overhead. Keep the lights on, that sort of thing. There is a bonus podcast there for you to listen to, called Ed Bonds with Bill, where I strap our executive producer Bill Sweeney to a chair and force him to watch James Bond movies, and he's enjoyed it most of the time. The most recent episode that went up is Roger Moore's Octopussy. Sarah, you a big fan of Octopussy?
Look, if you don't have to talk about politics, I don't have to talk about Octopussy.
All right,
that's the rule.
Fine. Okay, all right. Not a Louis Jordan fan. I see. Okay. Well, also, because next week, oddly enough, there's only one episode that we're going to be covering. Usually what we do when that's the case is we do a retro pick, where we dive deep into the DC Universe archives and pull an episode of television from yesteryear to research. And Sarah and I we had a big conference to discuss what retro pick we were going to do for next week.
We called a summit. We debated.
Yes.
We made a decision. We lit the white smoke to indicate that we had made a selection.
Yes.
That's a Catholic joke. How did I do?
Very good. Very
Thank
good.
Thank you.
And we did have oddly enough, there was some tweets out from @Deke273 and @Tanya Mel encouraging us to cover the Harley Quinn animated series on DC Universe, which I think just ended its first season like a week or two ago. So I mean, it's not diving that far into the archives, but I think it would be fun to cover, and we, the way things are going, we never know when we're going to get a retro pick again. So we, because last year we went all summer with no retro picks. We didn't get anything until Christmas. So Sarah and I have decided we're going to be doing the pilot episode of Harley Quinn, the animated series, as a retro pick. Which is available on DC Universe, starring Kaylee Cuoco as Harley Quinn. And I've seen all of the series. Sarah, you're up to date on it, right?
Actually, I saw the pilot, loved it, haven't gone back for the rest of them yet. So now I'm stuck with a choice. Yeah. I heard amazing things, and it's I've been meaning to do it, but life has gotten in the way. So now my question is, if we're going to kind of be retro picking our way through this when we have off weeks, do I watch it all now? Because I really want to. Or do I wait, and am I fresh for each new episode that we do? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I would watch it all now just because, as I said, we don't know. We could go 8 months without another retro pick.
True.
So. And
I really do want to see it. I have no excuse. I've fallen down on my Harley Quinn fandom, so.
Yes. Yeah. And there's so many deep cuts on that show. Like, you could tell they must have just had a DC Comics encyclopedia and were just pointing at random pages, just picking up random things. There's so much stuff. You get King Shark, you get Kite Man in that show. Oh, so much to enjoy. Can't wait to cover that, but that will be next week.
Next week, hell, that's probably going to be this afternoon once Jason's home. So that's the whole season.
There you go.
Plan.
Well, all right. So I'll okay. So that's fine. And Sarah, you ready to dive into the main episodes to cover this week?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Let's start off. First up is Batwoman, Season 1, Episode 13. Drink Me. A vampire named Nocturna was running around Gotham draining blood from snotty rich tweens. In the wake of Beth's murder, Kate was more worried than ever about retaliation from Alice. Jacob was released from prison and pressured Sophie and the Crows to prove they could protect Gotham better than Batwoman. Last minute reveal, Sophie kissed Batwoman.
And I really loved this episode. So
yeah.
I do have to quibble. Was it very early 2000s or was it early 1990s? Interview with the Vampire, Bram Stoker's Dracula taking movie theaters by storm. I don't know. It was all fabulous.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, you had the Anne Rice books, which came about in the 80s, I think, and then you had the movie in like 93. But I think what this was really going back to was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which was like early 2000s. I think that's what it was harkening back to. They really were trying to get like a season 1 Buffy feel to this.
Ooh, I really super didn't pick up a Buffy vibe, but I mean, it's all very good. I'm not going to argue with any vampire content. If you drop the word Porphyria, I'm like, yeah. So Good stuff.
Yeah. So Nocturna, I do love how they actually kind of made this, that it wasn't just like a straight up vampire, that there was some sort of medical condition that's forcing her to act this way. Um that seemed very creative.
Uh-huh.
Um
Well,
and
that's commonly believed to be what Vlad Tepes was suffering from that got him the reputation as Dracula. So there's scholarly thinking that says it was porphyria that caused it, like your gums retract and it shows more of your teeth and you're scared of the sunlight. Look, I went down a big vampire rabbit hole in the 90s. Thanks to all those things you mentioned. I did a speech in public speaking class when I was a freshman in high school about this. So,
okay.
yeah, we're learning all kinds of. You know what? Let's get back to Batwoman. Let's talk about Kate Kane in an undone tuxedo.
Yeah. She opened her bar in order to attract in. She got all dressed up.
Are you looking forward to more scenes in the bar?
Yes. Yeah. I think that's a great idea.
It feels like another direct corollary to Arrow season 1. Because this is kind of the broody successor to Arrow, and Oliver and Thea had what, Verdant?
Yes, Verdant was the nightclub. Yes. Verdant. I think it's a great idea. I don't know how much they're gonna go back there, but we'll see. We'll see. You were asking before about Kate's fashion sense. I'm not a particular fan, but but hey, whatever. She looked like she was having a good time. Um, Also, Sophie walking in there and immediately getting. I really liked the idea that woman who Sophie started flirting with, and all of that actually turned out not to be Nocturna. I thought that was a great twist, where the viewer is all going like, oh, this has to be a bad guy. Of course, Kate's trying to save her from this person. And then it turns out, nope, that was just a chick who looked at who walked into a nightclub looking for a good time.
Which is reasonable, Go to that hot new bar. Look for lovely ladies. Do it. Do it, lady who's not a vampire. I also super loved Luke's glow-in-the-dark tie. And just all of Mary this week, of course.
Yeah. I thought I was actually pleased that Mary was not angry at somebody or crying for a change.
Well, she's had a rough go of it,
She has, and this was nice to see her kind of get back into form. Organizing a party seems to be in her. She seemed to be in her element. Are we starting to ship Mary and Luke? Is this a thing that's
starting?
Gonna be
I've been shipping them for a month, so.
Are we moving into that this is gonna happen? And if that's the case, how long into the really awkward breakup?
I could see them dragging this out a little bit longer. And then it would be like a week or 2 of episodes, and then there would be the breakup. That's my call.
Okay. Because I just know that is going to be very uncomfortable, and I'm not looking forward to that. But, all right, and Sophie, what's funny? Like, we always talk about secret identities and people knowing. I like that Sophie does not know that Kate is Batwoman. I know it's pretty early on, and she's definitely going to find out eventually. But I feel like this is taking advantage of the secret love triangle that's not a triangle. That was a staple of Superman comics for years and years and years and years. and I haven't seen it properly done on television in a while. Probably since Lois and Clark in the 90s. And I was pleasantly surprised, and I like the storyline and where it's going.
Me too. Yeah. They really have improved Sophie. I don't know if they listened to the internet complaints or just figured out that character a little more, but she's a lot better in the back in 2020. Sophie's better in 2020.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I really did not like that character.
Well, she lost 200 pounds of dead weight in the form of her husband, and that really helped.
There we go.
I'm excited about the club because it gave us the chance for all the ladies on the show to converge in nightwear. Like, trot out your evening duds. It was fun. This was just a fun episode.
Now, now Jacob, really adamant that this department is not going to get any help from Batwoman.
I feel like we need to jump back. Jacob out of prison?
Oh yeah, that was fast.
Yep.
That was fast. Like, didn't really understand the explanation, but okay, all right, he's out now. That's the
Good
thing.
on him.
So like how crushed is he gonna be when he finds out that his two daughters, one of them is a psychopathic psychopath mass murderer, and the other one is a hardened vigilante. Like, is this gonna be
bad? It's gonna be bad. It's gonna go badly.
And yeah, just like, where is and wouldn't it just be easier for them to start working with Batwoman? Like, wouldn't
it? Really would. I don't know what his problem is. I mean, I get it. She stands for everything he's against, vigilantes, blah blah blah. But just team up, yo.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's times like this I wonder where Commissioner Gordon is.
Has the show name checked him? I don't remember.
No. I mean, they've basically alluded to the fact that the GCPD is so ineffective that's why the Crows exist. That they're sort of independent contractors bought out by the mayor to protect the city. So I'm guessing that Commissioner Gordon's not around anymore. Because he certainly wouldn't stand for this. And it also makes me wonder where what's up with Barbara Gordon. So things to think about in future episodes.
And I feel like Barbara Gordon would be too much goodness.
Yeah. That might be something like season 3 or 4, maybe. Introduce Oracle in here. And I'm just looking through here. Nocturna. What did you think?
I'm sorry. Was Nightbite taken?
Yeah, it really does feel like she, like she would be hosting a horror movie, a horror movie night on a local channel in the Midwest in the 1970s. Why not just throw the Mistress of Evil right after that? But I enjoyed her as a character. Do you think this is a character that you could see being recurring?
I sincerely hope so. I think that would be amazing. Yeah, I would like that a lot.
Yeah, and it is a little bit, because the Batwoman comics tend to have a little bit more of a supernatural bent to them. So it would be interesting. It seems like more of a Batwoman villain than like a Batman villain to pair her against. So all right.
Cool. I'd be into it.
And yeah, anything more we need to discuss about this episode?
I think that exhausts my thinking on this episode, which I enjoyed very much.
Cool. All right. Any news for Batwoman?
No. Nope.
All right. Moving on to Supergirl. Season 5, episode 13. It's a Super Life. Mr. Mxyzptlk professed his love for Kara and informed her that he had been sentenced to only use his powers to right wrongs. Kara took Mixie up on his offer and began jumping around her past, trying to figure out the best time to reveal her secret identity to Lena. Last minute reveal, Kara celebrated her friendship with Alex and John by touching French fries.
That's how I love to celebrate.
I mean, I mean, it's like right up there with Three Musketeers with the swords going all for one, all for all. All for one for all. I think, yeah.
Touch French fries. So this was a fun episode. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was great. Tom Lennon. I mean, the previous actor who played Mxyzptlk was great, but I think he brings it to a whole other level. I love his sense of humor, and yeah, just the way that it kept building, where it's like, okay, we're gonna start with all these film reels, then everything's on the internet database, then we're watching Betamax tapes.
The Betamax.
Yeah, I thought it was lovely. And it really kind of enlightened to you that there really was no good time to tell Lena that Kara was Supergirl.
I mean, I think this was a really important episode because it frees Kara of guilt, and we can move forward now with the storyline, and I think that's really great. I think this was smart to do. I think they did it at the right time. It lets her let go of that. She can stop beating herself up. So I was very excited by this development.
Certainly, yeah, I completely agree.
And this was weird because I didn't recap it. Chancellor Agard, who is the full-time EW kind of DC superhero guy, really wanted to tap in on the 100th episode, so I let him have it. Happily, he's good at his job, and I'm glad to be a team player, but it was weird to watch it and take podcast notes, not recap notes. So that's not it. Nobody cares about my experience watching the show, but this was such a fun episode. I thought they used the guest stars really well. It was good to see a lot of them come back. It was just fun. Thank you for the fun episode, Supergirl.
Yeah. And we had a lot of characters come back. We had Ben Lockwood. We had Rain.
Rain, like not even just Sam, but Rain.
yes. Yeah, and I thought it was really cool, and it's also to see like they definitely, the writers definitely have a sense of where the show has been, and tracking it. Yeah, and for our 100th episode, I thought this was a great way to celebrate.
Yeah.
I'm just looking through here.
John and Alex's happy place is a paintball field, so that's cool. That wig was terrible.
Oh, talking about the one Kara wore in the
yes. Yeah, it's good that I didn't recap the show because it would have been nothing but talking about that wig. It's that bad. I was legit excited to see stupid sexy Ben Lockwood again. He was a good antagonist last season.
Yeah. And I thought it was interesting to see the way that they changed his character. Because basically, when Kara shows you who she is earlier, Lockwood turns against Lena, but in a very different way. I thought that was an interesting spin on that character. Yeah, just all together, this was a fun episode. Any guest stars you wish we could have had?
I mean, hello, Cat Grant, always eternally Cat Grant.
Yes.
And I do know this. I mean, this is news, but not news. The show wanted to bring Callista Flockhart back. They really wanted to bring Brooks back as Jimmy Olsen, but it just didn't work out for scheduling purposes. Callista, she's home with her man. She's doing whatever Callista Flockhart does on a daily basis. She can't be bothered, and that's okay. I salute my queen. But yeah, I wish that we could have gotten a Cat Grant cameo.
Yes.
How about you?
Yeah, that's the same. That's really the one person I want her to see, because I feel like, because I remember that, like, after she left the show, the first time she guest starred, it sort of like brought the whole thing to life and was like, oh,
Yeah.
where have you been all this time?
Yep, I remember that episode vividly, and it was just to have her back, it sort of brought something that had been missing to the show, and it was a delight. Oh, she's so good.
Yeah, and also the way that Mixie's powers get dampened briefly, and there's a whole chase through where Lena's basically like declared martial law and has taken over the city with Lexos, and having to fight, and the thing that gets them out of it is the hat from the Hat. Do you remember those? Do you remember those guys last season?
Yeah, vaguely. Not until they, brought it up again, and I was like, "Oh yeah, those guys."
Yeah. Manchester Black had a buddy called the Hat who had a hat, and evidently that hat had powers that were connected to the fifth dimension. Yeah, and if Mix's Pidlick comes back, do you want Tom Lennon in the role, or would you be up for somebody else?
No, keep Tom Lennon. Give us Tom Lennon. Always Tom Lennon.
Yeah.
Known around my house as my friend Dave's friend Tom Lennon, because I know a guy who knows him. So
that's cool.
I thought, yeah. They went to high school together, so apparently Tom Lennon always has been funny. But I thought he brought just that sort of puckish energy to it. I am a Tom Lennon fan to begin with, but he was just the right level of playful, but also, you could kind of take him seriously. And I mean, he's no Howie Mandel, but I'm kidding. He was great. He was so much better than Howie Mandel.
Yeah. Interesting to see where this is going over the years. Now I just want to have a round table with Howie Mandel, Tom Lennon, and Gilbert Gottfried, just talking about Mr. and Mrs. Pidlick.
I mean, let's put that out into the world. I'd like to see that happen too.
And I'm sure two of the three would say, who? Any news for Supergirl?
Nope. That would be it.
All right. Next episode, Black Lightning. Season 3, Episode 14, The Book of War, Chapter 1, Homecoming. Jefferson agreed to help defend Freeland from the Markovians. Jennifer still did not believe that Khalil had a killing machine inside his head. Brandon got the chance to meet Dr. Jace in person. Lady Eve learned that Lala had gotten his hands on Tobias's briefcase. Last minute reveal, Gravedigger marveled that ultimate power and ultimate vengeance now resided in him.
Hey, question. Did we know that Gamby's first name is Peter?
Yes, I knew that.
Oh, okay. I did not. So when he introduced himself as Peter, I was like, wait, what? That's your name? Huh. Okay, fine.
Sorry.
So no, it's okay. This felt like a very special episode in that characters stopped and looked directly at the camera and said, PTSD is serious and you can get help. And I think that's important, but it was delivered in a way that felt like a very special. And then it happened again with addiction as a disease that can happen to anybody. Again, good message, very important. Delivered in the tones of like a very special episode of Silver Spoons.
Yeah. You're almost kind of surprised that they didn't, flash the hotline at the end of the episode.
That's very much how it felt. So I don't want to ever give anybody grief for trying to do something like that. Because again, I think that's good and important, but it was just a very special episode.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, but there was a lot that happened in this episode. Like, we have a lot to unpack here, And I'm trying to think, do we start with Khalil? Do we start with Lady Eve? Like, what's
Always start with Lady Eve. She's back. So are her necklaces.
and yeah, and we learn here that she was had a much more important role in this series than previously, than we've previously discussed. Like, basically she claims that all of the stuff Tobias was using was actually um brought about by her, and that she's been the one in charge of the cult that really got all that technology together. um and that she just says a word and all of a sudden Lala kneels down in front of her. Like, all of that was uh an interesting spin on this, and I'm wondering, like, is this because of Crisis, or did it actually just take that long for them to revive her? um and I'm just glad that character's back.
Me too. It felt a little retconny to me, and so I guess
Oh,
I.
yes.
Okay, thank you. I guess I was like, well, Crisis. I guess I'll let him have it.
Yeah, and just the way that they're spinning up the dynamics, where you find out that she was much closer to Gamby. That whole discussion that they have in the tailor shop, I found fascinating. But yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and
mhm.
I really liked Gamby this episode. I thought his conversation about tailoring was actually really interesting. It felt a little more. He's just been exposition man for so long, and it still is kind of exposition-y, but I'm glad we got to know a little bit more about him and his background and his, secret "I didn't assassinate you when I had the chance" shame. So
Definitely. Um, Moving on to Khalil. So, do you think Jennifer finally understands what's going on with Khalil?
no, I don't think it made a difference. Bless her heart.
No, no. Well,
No.
I mean, she said, "Get away from me." So she's trying to take herself out of that situation, but yeah.
I think she's
Um,
still gonna go back. And that's, I get it. Teenage love. I've seen his abs. I get it, girl. I get it. But yeah, I wish that she would. Yeah.
yeah. Are we happy that Brandon finally got to meet Helga Jace?
Yeah, and has been wearing his mom around his neck this whole time.
Okay.
So he could crystallize her and turn her into a weapon, as you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I still don't trust a word Dr. Jace says.
No, of course not.
And Jennifer's trying to get Brandon to calm down. I don't know if TC is actually going to be able to help them, but we'll see. Um yeah. I mean, just going through all the storylines. The other thing we didn't really talk about was Lynn. You mentioned addiction before. Like, that was the whole big thing. Yeah, that really did feel like a PSA, like an after school special.
Yeah, and again, I'm glad that they make the point of, it can happen to everyone, and you need, we're going to be with you as you work through this. But it just, between that and Gamby, like, you promise me you will receive help for your yeah. Okay.
Sure. And yeah, and Jefferson. The big thing that we learned here, which came at the end, and I feel like you could have done, if this was like a show on a cable channel, we would have had a whole episode just watching Gravedigger's backstory.
Uh-huh.
And we
Yes,
said
100%.
yeah. Yeah, and instead we get a very intense, like 5-minute montage at the end of the movie, just showing all of this about him serving in World War II, and getting pulled into this secret program, and then deciding to stay in Markovia. Um, uh, I really enjoyed it. I think uh it gives the proper context for his character. Um, and I mean, once again, like Wayne Brady, I didn't know he had it in him.
Yeah, I did not know Wayne Brady could go so dark, but cool. It felt a little Captain America-ish, right? That's not just me.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They're definitely going for that vibe. And now that he's been injected, um, and has the powers of like almost every metahuman, it he seems a very formidable enemy. And it's right in time because Sarah, we only have 2 episodes of Black Lightning left this season.
Whoa, that happened fast.
Yeah, I know. But I'm looking forward to them being action filled, um, real barnstormers. So yeah, yeah. Wayne Brady, Sarah. Who'd have thunk it?
Well, he is a talented guy, so I guess we should have thunk it, shouldn't we have?
Yeah, yeah. All right. Anything more we need to discuss with Black Lightning?
Just that Anissa's pineapple bun in that one scene was incredible. Tall, proud, amazing. So A plus work there.
Okay.
And
Cool.
obligatory Marcellus Washburn soul joke when you open a briefcase and it glows. Just obligatory. Legally, I'm required to say that. So
Gotcha. All right. No news for Black Lightning, right?
no news.
All right, on to The Flash. Season 6, episode 14, Grodd Friended Me. Chester P. Runk tinkered with tech and caused Barry to get trapped in Gorilla Grodd's mindscape. Iris was getting frustrated with Eve trying to find a way out of the mirror while duplicate Iris bugged her dad for confidential info. Things got super awkward between Nash Wells and Allegra. Last minute reveal, the vision of Sherlock that was haunting Nash was really the Reverse Flash.
I was legit shook by the Reverse Flash.
Yeah, no, you did not see that coming.
And honestly, I'd rather have Reverse Flash than Sherlock. Yeah, I said what I said.
Ooh, wow. Fighting words. Okay. Yeah, no, I thought it was great. And yeah, another season with a Reverse Flash comes in, and is the big bad. Yeah, I really like that they split up the bad guys this season. Because I don't think blood I don't think I would have been able to handle a full season with blood work. But no. We've got Reverse Flashback, and yeah, and I'm interested to see what he's like in the aftermath of Crisis, and how Crisis affected Eobard Thawne. That's gonna be very interesting to see. Also, I mean, Grodd.
Grodd. At first, I was just like, no, this isn't fair. We get Grodd's voice, but we don't get to see actual big gorillas. And then they gave us big monkeys.
Yes, we got Grodd and Solivar. I really like Grodd episodes. I always find it amazing how much, how like deep and emotional that character can get. And yeah, and this was another Barry trapped in Grodd's mind. Grodd's going to him for help, and yeah, it was really exciting. Um, um, and Chester P. Runk. Sarah, what do you think of the new Cisco?
I miss old Cisco. I like Chester P. Runk a lot. Let me stipulate that first. But where's Cisco? Whither Cisco?
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I like the character. I think if this is who we're gonna, I mean, I mean, they haven't really said that he's leaving the show, but I feel like for like the last 2 seasons, there's just been this weird thing going on with that character where it's like he could leave in any moment. But
Yeah, like he really wants to be someplace else, but he doesn't want to actually. He's trying to ghost the show.
Yeah, and I do think it was interesting to see Chester kind of come into his own, and to see another. It's always fresh to see, oh, there's a character who's been around who doesn't know that Barry is the Flash, and you realize like how really bad they are at keeping that secret.
Yeah.
And he's a guy who's just hanging out in Star Labs because he's recuperating, and then all of a sudden gets drawn in and is part of the team. I thought this was a cool episode. This was a great episode for him. And we finally get a chance to develop that character and see, he's a scientist. He's a guy who really wants to do good, and to impress Barry. And kind of watch him struggle with that. Yeah, I thought it was cool. And we got to see Frost give a hall talk.
Yes, she did. I think Frost storylines are now being dictated by the actress's pregnancy a little bit, because she's sitting behind desks a lot.
Ah, okay.
That's
All
my
right.
guess. That's my guess.
Well, that's good to know. And are you ready for Iris to kill Eve yet? Already, Eve yet?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
That character was getting really, really annoying, and then now to realize that on top of that, oh no, she's actually the bad guy here. Like, yeah, that duplicate Iris is actually working for her.
Well, but it was good to have that confirmation. I'm glad that we didn't have to linger with that uncertainty,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just like I wish Joe West didn't trust his daughter so much.
Joe, have you considered that Iris is actually an evil doppelganger of some lady in a mirror? Could you?
Because I feel like he should have noticed like 10 minutes in and been like, oh, that I don't think this is Iris.
Well, I will say again, I think that the show did a good job of writing Doppel Iris as. I think she's doing a good job of pulling off Iris.
Okay.
I think she's a good duplicate. She's not. Some of them are so obviously evil. It's like, come on, but this one is doing a pretty good job. But yeah, so she had arm burns. She's the same as Mirror Master.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Yeah. Yeah, but this is good. They better get out of that mirror next episode. That's all I'm saying. My patience is starting to get thin.
Here freaking here.
But yeah. But I mean, to me, the real standout for this episode was Grodd.
Oh yeah.
I like that this is like, okay, we're gonna have a Grodd episode once a year, and we're gonna really save up the CGI budget and go all out with it. And I thought this was spectacular. And the idea that you literally get inside his head, and kind of wonder, is he reformed, and now that Gorilla City is moved from Earth 2 to Earth Prime, is he gonna get that chance, or is Barry gonna be able to convince Argus that he's okay, it's okay to release him, and how long until he has had enough and tries to conquer the world again?
It won't take long. That's my take. I don't really trust Grodd, but I enjoy Grodd.
What did you think seeing Grodd with Barry's powers when they merged?
Upsetting? Upsetting? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Unnatural? An abomination against nature? God and nature? No. It's fun. Do you think the showrunners like writing for Grodd?
I think they do, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's the kind of thing I'm sure they savor up storylines to do that one episode. I'm glad that he's not a big bad. I'm glad he's just a recurring character that shows up once in a while.
Yeah.
But there was a storyline in the comics a couple of years ago where Grodd found a way to access the Speed Force, and he became a really unstoppable enemy. And I thought this was an interesting kind of nod to that, to peek to that. So we get to see him use his powers for good in the dream world to fight his jailer. And yeah, Solivar was back too.
It was a good time.
Cool. All right. Anything else we need to talk about with this episode?
I just think that we need to give a shout out to Brundle Flash. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Ed, how could I forget? At 17 minutes, Killer Frost lost me forever because she turned down the opportunity to play pinball. Why would you? I'm too busy for that? No. You take the 5 minutes. Like, what are you doing? Unless she's somebody who's so good that one game lasts 40 minutes, which those people exist. So I guess maybe she was being conscious of her time, but that was just such I gasped. Yeah, reader, I gasped.
Wow. Okay.
When Killer Frost lost me.
Bring Caitlin back now.
Yes, that's right. Get this amateur hour out of here.
All right. Was there any news for Flash?
There was not.
Okay. So our last episode of the week is DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Season 5, Episode 6. Mortal Kombat! The Legends followed Ava's new prognosticator to 1997 Hong Kong and tangled with Genghis Khan. Things were awkward between Bayrod and Charlie because, well, they had sex. Constantine was suddenly struck with terminal lung cancer, and Ray and Gary brought him home to make him comfortable. Last-minute reveal, a rejuvenated John burned his will and intended to see a lady about a loom.
Hey, guess what? I enjoyed Legends this week. I know it's surprising. I rarely do.
Yes. Sorry about the title. I couldn't resist. I wish I had that backing track under me at the end. But yeah. So who do you want to talk about first? Constantine having cancer or Genghis Khan?
Let's do Genghis Khan, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, they're both good. I don't know what to start with. Genghis Khan.
Yeah, I mean, we got to go to Hong Kong in the 90s. So I mean, we're really calling back to John Woo action movies. And we find out I loved this whole story. Like, why is Genghis Khan in the 90s? Why isn't he back, like right after Genghis Khan died? And you realize that his tomb was so well constructed that it took him 700 years to escape.
Poor Genghis Khan. Like, that is a horror story.
Yeah, even with that magic sword. But yeah. I thought that was wonderful. And seeing him tangle with triads, and you realize that no, he's not really interested in the drug trade. He just wants to conquer the world, and he's going to start with Hong Kong. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got simple goals, and he's got a scooter, so try to stop him.
Oh, Scoots. Oh man, Nate nicknamed it right away. Yeah, the Scoots. Yeah, and the climax, we're fighting all of the bad guys on scooters.
I super loved Ava being like, "Really, the scooter? I did all this in the scooter." I felt that. I felt that deeply.
I definitely, yes. As someone who works really hard on his spreadsheets, I can I can relate to that disappointment. But yeah. So fighting Genghis Khan. All right, Sarah. So I'm gonna let you, since you are the romance writer, I'm going to let you talk all about Bayrod and Charlie's relationship.
Uh-huh. What is there to say? I was the yeah, they have one.
Yeah.
Surprise. So... I want to talk more about Nate and Bayrod. Nate being like, I mean, if only you were a girl, am I right? That huh.
Okay. But yeah, so yeah, evidently I really like what they're doing with Bayrod's character on this show, and just kind of acting as if he's been with the Legends for 2 seasons. And those storylines are already integrated, and the way that we're sort of learning them. That if Bayrod had been on the show last season, he would have had a whole romantic storyline with Charlie. I think that and evidently it didn't work out because the sex was mediocre.
Well, it's tough. But you're right. I wasn't sure what I would think about Bayrod. Just anytime you have a character who's dropped in and people are expected to say, oh, he's always been here, I should have trusted the show because they've really integrated him well. And I enjoyed him. I enjoyed him. It's kind of strange that he's still trying to master his powers because he has been with the team for that long now. I'm kind of using air quotes. But hey, man, wind stopping bullet power. Cool.
Yeah. Well, also, I feel like he's using his powers like 100 times. Like in just the handful of episodes he's been in, he's already used that amulet twice as much as Zari did in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's the show saying, "Oh, right, we do have a character with superpowers. We should probably have him use it." Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That was so. So that's what was up with the main story with the Legends. I think we also need to talk about what kind of conversations do you think Mick was having while he was protecting Prince Charles?
Oh my God. None. I think none. Prince Charles probably tried to make small talk like the well-bred man that he is, and Mick just grunted at him, and the prince was horrified.
Did Mick even offer him a beer?
No. Hell no. Mick has no respect for like that kind of authority. No.
No sense of hospitality? Nothing?
Nope. None.
All right. And I'm just looking through here. Oh, okay. And Constantine with lung cancer. I mean,
just so much blood, so much coughed up blood.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, it was intense. I mean, the way he smokes, I guess you knew it was inevitable.
But not quite that fast.
No. I thought it was really weird that Gary and Ray end up being the ones comforting him, just basically creating hospice in his old house. I thought that was a weird setup, but somehow it worked. And thankfully, Constantine was able to convince Astra to let him go, to release him.
So, question, did it feel like an episode where we kind of 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, in that there was no real, they did all this and Constantine is just like, oh, well, he's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of went all that, but it does reset. And when Charlie, came out to the team and explained that she's actually one of the Fates, to me, it set all the pieces on the board, and now we know what the game is for the rest of the season.
Yeah, true. True.
Whereas, like, you remember that one season where we were running around the timeline trying to collect pieces of the Spear of Destiny. Now now it's like, okay, we've got to run around the Earth looking for pieces of the Loom of Fate.
That's true. I guess we know what the MacGuffin's going to be moving forward.
Yeah.
And I will be curious to see if we get to see her sisters. That'll be fun. The casting should be fun.
Oh yeah. And that's going to happen. And that's the other thing is are we going to get to see Charlie's true form?
Well, she said it would pop your eyeballs or whatever. I'm not sure we should see Charlie's true form.
Yeah, I know. It could be pretty scary.
Could be bad. Can I say that for as long as we have her on the show, I want Marie Antoinette just eating food and being snarky in the background.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Are you upset that Gary isn't going to get the house after all?
I think life is long and Gary could still end up with the house. I think the Gary Constantine relationship is delightful. I think Gary's protective streak is really cute. I thought Ray had I'm a Ray fan, but I thought he had great stuff this week.
Yeah. And I guess I think that kind of brings us into the news for Legends.
Ed, this brings me no pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Ray and Nora's last episode looks like it's going to be March 17th.
Ooh, man. Oh, but all right. And we found out Nora is still a fairy godmother.
Yep. Yep, she is.
Yeah.
And Gary wants to be the flower girl.
And Gary, yes, yeah.
He will feed your hellhounds and he will be your flower girl.
I also know that it's like, all right, we're not good enough friends for me to be your best man.
But I will.
Yeah, no. Or even a groomsman.
Yeah. My affection for Gary is strong.
All right. So yeah.
But no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Do not take Ray and Nora from me.
Well, all right. Well, not looking forward to that, but let's enjoy the time that we have left with them.
We can't change anything by being sad. So,
all right. Well,
let's ready for news.
Yeah. Let's try to cheer ourselves up with some news for other shows.
Okay, and we have some good news. All right, let's start with Doom Patrol.
Okay.
So we have some casting. Karen Obelam has been cast as Ronnie Evers, who has a connection to Cyborg. Ed, I am not a Doom Patrol comic reader, but I understand there is a character named Ron Evers, and so this seems pretty clearly to be a gender swap version of that character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
I think so. Mm-hmm. Also, Mark Shepard tweeted a photo of him in sort of old-timey clothing and said something like, "Nice to be back." And so the internet exploded. Is he going to be coming back as Crowley on Supernatural? Is he going to be somewhere else? And then Matt Bomer popped up to say, "Oh, I recognize that trailer." So it looks like Willoughby Kipling is coming back. which I am excited about. That was a great character.
Yeah, Fat Constantine. Let's do it. Not fat,
yeah, this
chubby.
is clearly the just an older incarnation, a less cigarette smoky incarnation.
Yeah.
So I like Mark Sheppard on my screen.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that is the Doom Patrol news. Moving on to Stargirl.
Stargirl
which
music.
We don't have a date for yet, but we do have some casting. The Wizard will be played by Joe Kniezevich. He looks like a slender bearded man. Does that fit your incarnation in your head of the Wizard, or I guess a wizard?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Wizard, not. I'm sure it's probably a Golden Age hero, and that's probably why it's not clicking with me. I do know the bad guy in the second Batman and Robin movie serial in the 40s was the Wizard, and I'm sure it's very, very different because that guy wore a black mask and just ran around, and I'm sure it's not that character. But
that's not very wizardy.
Yeah, but I will say I am ready for start watching Stargirl like right now, like, you know, and the fact that they're saying spring 2020 and the commercials are already all over the CW, and why can't we just get a date? Why can't we just get a date, Sarah?
I don't know. They like to toy with our emotions.
Oh, what are they? Are they waiting for a show to be canceled? Is that it? Like, what's? Oh,
I mean,
man.
maybe.
I will slit Katie Keene's throat right now.
Okay, let's not say things we can't take back.
All right, fine. I'm sorry.
Oh wait, I thought you said Kate Kane. No, Katie Keene. That's fine. Go for it.
I was just trying to think of a random CW show that.
No, it's good. It worked.
Okay.
Listen, Nancy Drew, I will disappear you so far the Hardy Boys will never find you.
I really like the new Nancy Drew show. I'm like 5 episodes in. And,
really? I haven't even tried it yet.
yeah. And I'm already waiting for them, seeing how they're gonna angle into a Hardy Boys spinoff. Like, I'm just
All right, so Jughead, I've taken your hat. Get in the van right now if you want it back. We need to make room for Stargirl.
Let's do this.
Anyway, that's the Stargirl news. Moving on to Lucifer. Hey, good news. This is good news. The showrunners have signed on for season 6. So they're on board at Netflix. Joe Henderson and Ilya Motovich. So we just need to get Tom Ellis on board, and then, you know, all the rest of them. But this, I don't know, maybe I'm being foolishly optimistic, but this cast has such affection for this show and these characters. I cannot imagine. What I saw in one of the write-ups this week was that they're looking at maybe a 10-episode 6th season. So, yeah. Lucifer.
Right.
The little show that could.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Into it.
Great.
Yeah, moving on. Here's a show we haven't talked about in a while. Pennyworth. So Pennyworth went all out and cast 5 new series regulars this week. So we're starting work on season 2. We have James Purefoy, Edward Hogg, Jesse Romeo, Ramon Tikaram, and Harriet Slater all joining the cast. I feel like of those, James Purefoy is the best known from, I guess, The Following, maybe, or Sex Education. So he's going to play Captain Gulliver Troy, Alfie's former SAS captain, charismatic, cultured brute, a powerful man of appetites, drink, women, and danger. Already very into that. Hogg is Colonel Salt, a would-be despot, masquerading as an obedient civil servant and a calculating killer. Romeo is Katie Browning, an idealistic art student whose life is uprooted by civil war. Idealistic art student sounds very much up Alfred's alley, does it not?
Yes.
I'm just speculating. I have no knowledge, but Tikaram is Inspector Victor Aziz. Season 1's charming, sardonic Inspector Aziz returns, so he's going to be actually a regular. So we've seen him before. And then Slater is Sandra Onslow, a budding 60s starlet. Oh, Alfie's on again, off again girlfriend. I was wrong. About the
Yeah,
yellow
so
art student.
I was gonna say we have 3 new cast members, and then Inspector Aziz and Sandra are getting up to series regulars.
Okay.
Um,
Yep.
so Sandra, if you remember, was the girl at the pub.
The pub girl.
The pub girl. Yeah.
She's now a resident singer in his club, so exciting.
Oh.
But anyway,
There we
that's
go.
nice to be reminded that Pennyworth exists and was surprisingly good.
Yeah. And this summer, I think I was reading. So we're gonna have at least one show to cover in the summer. That's exciting.
Yep.
Mhm.
And last, but I think probably most exciting news is why the Last Man adaptation has replaced Yorick. If you recall, they lost their leading man a couple weeks ago. Ben Schnetzer is stepping in as Yorick.
Okay. All right. Now
I don't know Ben Schnetzer. Apparently he was in Warcraft and Pride.
Yeah. I think I remember his character in Warcraft, and I enjoyed it. Me and me and 500 million people in China enjoyed that movie. I think I understood what was going on by the end of it. Which for someone who'd never played World of Warcraft before, I think is very impressive. But but yeah, he seems to be a better fit than Barry Keoghan to me.
He looks a little older, and God forgive me, a little more classically handsome. I'm so sorry, but I just think he looks a little bit more like my conception of Yorick, I think. So
yeah,
I am excited. This seems like a good. They cast it pretty quickly from when they made the announcement about Barry Keoghan leaving the show. So I'm hoping that means that they're moving forward full speed ahead, and we actually get to see this show, because I still don't believe it's going to happen.
All right. Cool. And that's all the news, right?
That is it for the news.
All right. Means now it's time for our winners of the week. Sarah, you want to go first, or should I go first?
I can go first. I actually have a theme this week.
Ooh,
and that was, we had a bunch of revealed secrets. So Mary on Batwoman starts figuring some things out about Batwoman's identity. Kara on Supergirl, I mean, we actually had that scene where she revealed who she was. Now, it was in an alternate kind of imagined reality, but still, we got to see it. Charlie on Legends tells us who she really is. And even on The Flash, we found out who the fake Iris actually is. So I just feel like we had a lot of explanations of things, or people figuring things out. So just secrets just tumbling out left and right.
Yeah, and also don't forget Gravedigger on Black Lightning.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I guess I was looking at the ladies and I didn't even look past them to Gravedigger, but you are 100% right.
Yeah, I also picked a theme, which was new guys coming into their own. I think we had a bunch of new characters that some are regular, some are potentially recurring. Who I all thought really kind of came into their own this week. On Batwoman, we had Nocturna, who I thought was a great bad guy, and I hope we see her again down the line. Maybe not as a regular, but just kind of like Gorilla Grodd, someone who pops in once a season and it's like, oh, we've got to fight off the vampire. What's going on with her? On Supergirl, we had Mixes Pitlick. I thought Tom Lennon did a great job with that character, and I can't wait until he drops in again, sometime next year. On Black Lightning, we did learn a lot about Gravedigger, and got better context for that character, and realized just how much of a badass he is. On Flash, Chester P. Runk came into his own, and sort of made his bones as a member of Team Flash. And on Legends of Tomorrow, I thought this was a great Bayrod episode. And I thought I thought, he kind of like came to terms with what happened between him and Charlie, and really, discovered new powers that he could stop bullets.
With wind.
With
I'm still not over it.
Yeah, so that was great. New guys coming into their own. That was my winner for the week.
Secrets and New Guys.
All right, Sarah, we got through an episode.
We did an episode.
All right. And next week, we just got one episode from Black Lightning, which means we're gonna have a retro pick, which is gonna be the pilot episode of the Harley Quinn animated series on DC Universe.
I am so excited.
Looking forward to that. Yes, that's the DC TV report for this week. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Little Eddie O'Hare.
I'm at Sarah Netzley, SaraNetzley.
And follow the show on Twitter at DCTV Report. Send along your emails to dctv@wickedtheory.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our show on your podcast app of choice and rate and review us. That helps more people find us. Check out our sister show, the Wicked Theory Podcast. This has been a Wicked Theory Studios production. Executive producer, Bill Sweeney. Visit us at wickedtheory.com. Shazam, everybody.
Shazam!
Shazam!